That was not a good sound to start it. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Lab. I'm Arlen. That is Nate, who was just pouring some coffee. Cheers, man. We're back in the lab, and we just finished our Dynasty rankings, our ranking tiers for wide receivers, and we're going to split them today from the Dynasty, starting off with that same tier, and then splitting them into redraft, how we would move the players around if we're either in redraft or this is the thing about Dynasty. If you are a Dynasty player that is making that championship run, you might be closer to the redraft. If you're on the fence, the playoff team, you might be in the middle, or you're all the way over in Dynasty for our rebuilders. Welcome in, Nate. How you doing, man? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you talked about how last week on the running back, we did the same thing for running back tier. So there's 2 episodes last week, but you mentioned how your first draft is always the worst because your brain is still in this extra dopamine of Dynasty new shiny toys. But then you mix in what we do, which we also talk about on the show, which is different. We don't just do Dynasty or redraft or standard stuff. We talk about the history of fantasy football. We talk about settings that we like. And one of the segments we do fantasy football, we talk about different league types. So I noticed that our leagues changed, our drafts changed quite a bit when we were doing a vampire league, which we'll get into. And we have a video on if you want to search the channel to understand what that is. Or we'll have this elimination league, this gauntlet league that we'll do this year. And that changed. That's going to probably change how we draft too. So bouncing back between these different formats is a lot of fun, but it's also really hard to keep everything straight and not make a tilt mistake. Yeah.
Oh, so hey guys, how's it going?
Oh,
Shout
I
out
guess.
to my August 24th draft.
Well, let's give him a proper shout out then.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Lab.
Let's get right into it. Throw in your comments throughout. You'll see first, again, what we ranked our Dynasty. So when you first see it, this is our Dynasty ranking. So give us hate on that or go out, watch that video and give us hate on it or some love if you agree. But I would also say throughout this, throw in some comments as we go. Let us know where you would change it up. And we'll have some discussions on like where we're kind of split. So be the tiebreaker for us. We have 100% hit rate of responding to our comments. So if you comment in there, we love engaging. This is why we do it. This podcast started with us just talking about fantasy football, and one day, long into it, we hit record. All right, let's take a look here. All right, we've got Chase all the way on top. I think that I should probably out myself. Nate was making fun of me, but I did create 2 extra tiers because I just couldn't deal with it. So I needed to put Chase on his own. I'm willing in this situation to delete that row and put Chase with the other guys.
With that in mind, I was going to say, yeah, Chase and Jefferson are definitely a lot closer in a redraft situation. I think the target share that Jefferson calls for in his offense, he's not, as much as I love Jordan Addison, he is not T. Higgins in what he demands out of his quarterback. So I think those two are a lot closer. I don't think I was going to call you out, so thanks for calling yourself out for getting rid of your own made-up tier.
Yeah, I mean, I still technically see him as a tier above, but that, and then I see Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb in their own tier.
I'd move Malik down.
I'm going to move Malik down, but I'm okay with putting all 3 of those guys together there. But the difference in why I do have them in a different tier is there's several running backs that I would choose Chase over in redraft, and I tend to, that's where I like running backs, is I go a little heavier there than I do in Dynasty. And there's several that I would have between the 2, but I will concede.
Because you don't believe any running back has a shelf life of longer than a year and a half in Dynasty?
It's ridiculously unpredictable, even when it's predictable. There's like 4 guys that you can feel comfortable with, and everybody else You got to hold on to your butts. All right. We got the next round. I've got Puka in this same tier out of these guys.
Yep.
I have neighbors in this tier.
Okay.
Nico
Even
Collins
with
I have in
questionable
this
quarterback
tier.
play. Okay.
Yes. Even with questionable quarterback play. I do also have Brian Thomas still. I have St. Brown, I said. Lad McConkey, I have one down. And Garrett Wilson, I actually have. Yeah,
Couple down.
I have Garrett. Yeah, I have him a couple down. JSN, I have a couple down as well.
Okay.
So we can talk about that. Is there anyone else in this tier that I'm missing, or anyone that you want to kind of throw a note onto?
Is essentially my tier. I kept Garrett Wilson there actually. So a couple down's crazy to me, but
okay.
Yeah, I just think, and maybe I'm putting too much stock into him getting his college quarterback there, and they're just one, getting that contract, two, like hopefully getting some chemistry with his quarterback play versus him having to like make the best of a situation. But I'm willing to split the difference if we want to call him a B tier there. But I actually have him up in A with everybody else.
Okay, yeah, let's split the difference. I have him in C, but I would put him up in. I wouldn't be afraid to put him up in B. I'm not scored. Lad McConkey was actually one person that I did have one tier lower, but do you have him in A?
I have him in A, but are you surprised I have him in A?
No, but I'm going to ask that question that I always ask once we're done with these two tiers. Drake London I have here. Let's see. I have Higgins down one. Let me just clear all these guys out and just see who else I have. I do have Marv is on the edge for me. I'm doubting that you're going to have him up there, but he's on the edge for me, but I'll put him aside for now. T. Higgins I actually do want to. I had him down one, but I think it's fair to put him up at this level. Tyreek Hill, I don't have yet, but he's way up higher than I did in Dynasty. He's coming up close. Yeah, I want to put Marv. I want to put Marv in this tier. Yeah, it's a risk, and I'm willing to move him down one, but he should be there. Gary Terry. You said Garrett Wilson was in A?
I have him in A.
Okay, yeah, I want to put him up in
B. You can
B.
put him in B. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would think about Terry, but I would only say this if he signs like within the next week. And then I'm one of my lessons from last year is if somebody holds out and they don't practice, especially wide receiver, I'm good. I'm going to bump them down a couple tiers. I don't want to really deal with them. Injuries, hamstring injuries go up, groin injuries go up. Just needing to be, I mean, he at least has a whole same system in quarterbacks last year. So playbook wise, he knows what's going on, but it's extremely important for wide receivers to be in there in training camp. And I don't like the holdout thing. If he holds out, I'm not drafting him, but I will trade the person after 3 or 4 weeks for him. In 3 or 4 weeks into the season, because that's usually when they, like 6 weeks in or so, they usually spike. All right. Do you have Terry in B?
I have Terry in B. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm looking at your fringe players right now to see if anyone we need to move up into B.
I think it's close for Hill and with Godwin injured, Evans. But I would probably put both of them one tier further down.
Yeah. This is a lot tougher with wide receivers than it was for running back.
It is. I'm going to start my C tier. I'm going to put Evans here. I feel good about him there. I'm going to put Hill in my C tier. Who else did I put up in here? Oh, JSN needs to...
JSN's got to be up there,
yeah. Already in here? Where did
you put him? Oh, he's right there,
yeah. Yeah, so I'll put JSN up here. Hunter, I'm going to take out of this. I'm going to put them down one tier whenever I take him out of it. Ibuka, I'm going to take down. I think DK could stay here, but I wouldn't argue him going down. Rice is off my board, most likely. Jameson Williams, I think this is too early for him. Camillin, probably too. Devontae Smith, probably too.
It's a pretty slim tier, dude.
I know. Well, we haven't gone to fill it up much, so we can spend a second to fill it up now.
Is this where we would talk about Devontae Adams being back in the conversation?
Yes. Yeah.
So I would put him in as a C tier here.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. I would consider Worthy here with a chunk of time for Rice out. I would consider him in that tier, but I would probably keep him down here.
DJ Moore?
Maybe, but you even said Luther Burden is going to...
Yeah.
He's more similar to him than... I don't know. I have more confidence in everyone here over DJ Moore. Zay Flowers, I could...
That's fair.
Make the argument for.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with that. I think that's it, though.
Jameson Williams is close, but I still think it's down here.
And then your D tier.
My D tier, DJ Moore. I would keep Worthy here. Olave I would keep here too, but I could consider moving him down. Addison I'm going to move down. For now, I'll keep Smith here for now. Jared Jeudy, I wouldn't do Ayuk because he's injured. He's going to take a bit to get back.
There, dude. Yeah.
I'm going to put Pearsall there.
Are you? Okay. Above? Okay, so
let's finish this tier and then we can talk Pearsall. Let me see, because I'm not quite sure actually either. McMillan I would consider here. I would probably throw one down. I don't know. I think he could be here. Pickens, Hunter, I think needs to...
Yeah, I don't think he's not... Hunter's got to be...
rank him.
I wouldn't even... For this year, for a redraft? I mean, he's going to be on someone's... What's that?
Okay. We'll do that to Addison too then. All right, so, okay, looking at this tier, Pearsall sticks out to you.
Yeah, because I think they're going to pay Juwan Jennings, right? Right, so... in a redraft, I would want Jennings over Pearsall. I don't know when Ayuk's coming back. So with that in mind, I would probably lower Pearsall here, especially unless D's going to be our massive tier versus everything else.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to argue it. I have a bias.
You have a love affair with him. I understand.
I do. Juwan Jennings then will be... I think he should be in that one. This one's tough. I would probably... I'm going to throw a couple people to consider for this tier up. And then what else did I have in here?
That's a lot of names.
We could also consider... All right. These are the guys I started right here, Ridley, of the guys to consider. And then if there's some more people that you want to throw in under consideration, we can do that too. But those are the guys I want to consider for this tier as well.
Yeah. I'm good with consider. It pains me to say, but no. Would we pull Odunze down?
I'm going to pull Jeudy down, actually, now that I think of it, because I just can't tell that. I don't know who's throwing the ball.
In that grouping, I'd probably, of everyone that you have there, I'd probably pull, if we're going to lower folks out, DJ Moore I'd keep there, obviously. Worthy, keep there. Olave scares me, but keep there. Devontae Smith, Williams. Probably pull down. I don't know if Odunze and Moore are in the same tier. So with that in mind, I kind of go, which one would I rather have in a redraft? I'd probably want Moore, so I'd probably move Odunze down.
Yeah, I agree.
And then...
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Somebody that we didn't mention that I meant to, but I just didn't know where it goes. Mooney, we didn't bring up when we were talking about Dynasty tiers. I mean, I think he's probably in this next one, but
for redraft,
he probably should have been. Yeah, probably should have been it for Dynasty as well.
Fair enough. There's got to be other places not named Bijan or Drake London where the ball's going to go, and I don't think it's going down the pits.
All right, so I think D's pretty solidified. If you think of somebody else, let me know. We'll start with Mooney. I like Jacoby Myers in this one. That's a strong wide receiver 2 flex. I don't really want to put Dobbs in. I would put him down one for now. Trey Harris, I think, actually just has to be removed.
Yeah, we don't know anything about this guy.
Okay. Higgins, I would probably put down one, but I think he should still be up or on the board. Where does Downs go for you?
Where did we put Mitchell? Or, not Mitchell, Pittman, sorry.
Oh, bottom.
Because you have Pittman, you have Downs above Michael Pittman Jr. in a redraft situation?
Well, we haven't really adjusted that. So Downs was up higher for redraft, but I think they're close, but I'd probably maybe I would move them down then with the quarterback uncertainty, but I would have Downs over at Pittman, not necessarily a different tier.
I'd probably put them together. Yeah, I'm good with that. I think Downs
here.
There. Yeah. But I don't think Pittman's like. Yeah. Because who's throwing to him this year? We've got. I mean, come on, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is going to be the him. He's my new him.
I'm choosing the one that I think will be the one, and I'm not going.
Daniel Jones with a reset. Anthony Richardson's not going to be who we need him to be, even though he looks good.
I'm taking
Daniel Jones is the new him. I'm putting my Will Levis hot take is moving to Daniel Jones.
I spaced out because you're saying Daniel Jones too much. I'm going to move forward.
He's Will Levis out for the season. Daniel Jones is my new undercover him.
I'm probably taking out Shaheed, right? Let me put him at the back of this. Diggs, I would put at this lower level still. Hopkins probably at this lower level. I don't think I should have ranked Hopkins in Dynasty. I don't know why I did. I don't like that I did.
I didn't, but you were sold on it.
Correct.
I think you're good with that.
I guess. I'm okay with a flyer on some of these guys, but I don't think Kupp needs to be ranked, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Who, Kupp?
Oh, Shakir. Yeah. I should probably rank him.
And probably rank Kupp. I mean,
some old dudes at the end.
There, dude.
Yeah, just a couple old dudes. No worries.
I'm good with that. I don't think there's anyone that...
I gotta look at what Godwin's injury situation is like, but I think he would probably still... People are going to draft him, and we have a lot of wide receivers on the board. It's probably fair to have him in here. And I think Hunter should come in. I'm going to put Hunter in F. He's still a top tier wide receiver prospect that if we're looking at this, I would probably draft him. What do we got? 20 players or so, 25 players before him about. I would probably, as the 26 wide receiver off the board, I would consider looking at him there.
Okay.
But
I wouldn't take the gamble even if he does have that potential to be up there. I wouldn't. He's probably not on my big board to draft this year in redraft, but
I will not go lower than at the bottom.
And then with Godwin, it looks like he's probably going to be back for week 1.
Yeah,
but probably not full speed.
We have Evans up there, Godwin here, Travis Hunter I'll put in there. I'm trying to scan to see if there's anyone Do you think Jordan Addison should be here?
Yeah, I would have Jordan Addison on the board at least. John Coleman.
I'm going to put it just for the people who have an IR spot that includes suspensions, which we do. You could throw him on there. He'll be great when he gets back. If you find yourself having a strong draft and he's sitting there in the 15th round and you have don't pick up the defense, just pick up Rice and then put him on your IR and then go grab a defense. Crap. I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. I hate that some people we know listen. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't make it that far. I wouldn't probably pick him any earlier, though. That's a lot of 6 games they're looking at. Maybe 4, but probably 6 is what I heard.
As long as you're leaving room for your kicker, you're in good shape.
Moving on. Should Shakir be in this bottom one? I had Shakir and Shaheed kind of like together, where one goes, they both go.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. I think Shakir's got to be up there. Otherwise, you're not ranking a single. Are you not going to draft a single Bills wide receiver in redraft?
I'm not against not draft. I'm not drafting Coleman in redraft. Am I okay? That can just be my preference, and this is what this is, right? This is our preference and what we personally rank them. So I'm saying
no, dude, you're locking this down. This is written in stone in July.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be like for everyone as advice almost, but then I'm like, wait, no. These are my thoughts. I'm allowed to say no. All right. I need you to be the one to choose Keon Coleman.
I'm not. I'm also not drafting him in redraft, so I'm with you on that. But one other group that we have not put anywhere on the board, I don't think. Do you have Diggs or any Patriots up?
Actually, I can't put him up there because the quarterback. Diggs or no, I don't. I think Diggs is here. Yeah, Diggs is down here. I had Move him off. Carl Williams, there he is. I had him off. I wouldn't be mad about, because he's the number 2, right?
Who? Kyle Williams?
Yeah, wasn't he drafted in the? Where was he drafted? I wasn't gonna put him in, but I don't. Who else would be? I don't think we should put him in there. But
I mean, you're talking about Kyle Williams or Demario Douglas, so
I'm not putting Bob Douglas in. Probably. I feel like he is good enough to take that wide receiver 2 spot. I think I'm good with keeping any other wide receivers from Patriots off. I think Diggs should be on here though. He's not far up our list. We're not giving him a lot of credit or anything.
yeah, fair enough. No, I'm good with this is I'm like trying to look and see if we would shift anyone to the first 4 or 5 tiers because we're in the weeds of fringe. Like depending on how deep your league is, you may not even be down here.
Mm-hmm. No, I would keep it there. I was thinking about moving Drake London up. I feel like he is going to be up there, but I think this is a safe, good tier. Marvin is for me kind of at the bottom of this tier, but I would pick him over everyone. I think JSN should probably be moved up to the B tier.
Yeah. With your Drake movement, like so, you have on your board, you have Drake London above Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I do.
It'd be interesting to compare our like rankings boards against each other versus these tiers. But
yeah.
But yeah, I have Garrett ahead of him because I of that team. I think we talked about this already. Like I'm fringing Garrett up to 1, but up to A. Sorry.
I think I might move Terry down because of the contract stuff. Yeah. I think he should probably be moved down.
And I think this is where we lock it then.
Yep. Now we're just staring at it and like making the most minor tweaks. But this is our redraft Dynasty or redraft rankings that came from our Dynasty tiers. So the adjustments from our Dynasty tiers to our redraft tiers, quite a bit changed. I think some of the stuff that surprised me the most is, and this is again the exact exercises, having this Tyreek Hill and Mike Evans and Devontae Adams be so much lower, and just the massive jump that they have. There's this like palatable feel, like I don't want to do it, but it's the right choice. But this is the exercise as we go into redraft season of trying to like reframe these people so that a Tyreek Hill, who I had disdain for in our last conversation when we were talking Dynasty, I'm like, oh yeah, he's great, but it took a second to get there. And I think the biggest piece is the number 2s are really hard to rank. So like the Pickens, Higgins, these guys that you're not quite like, there's a solidified 1 on, or even the ones that like are kind of fringe there. It could be the 1, could be the 2. I feel like I discount them too much during the season or leading up to draft, and really have to like isolate their stats and look at what they usually bring to the table and give them a little bit more credit than I think most people give them during the draft itself. If you don't have like the 1, sometimes we count the 1 of a team, like for example, Sutton. You might be looking at, this is not something that people would most likely do, but that's a good example of like some people who are too focused on the number 1 for a team might grab a Sutton over a Higgins because they don't want the number 2 for a team. And as I get closer to redraft, I got to like tell myself that over and over.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks that fall into that category. If we take a look at just how we have this ranked right now, we have Sutton, who's the 1, essentially Calvin Ridley, probably the 1. Olave, probably the 1, DJ Moore, the 1, and you might want to, if you're looking at it that way, you might grab one of those guys over your folks that we have Devontae Adams, who's essentially is the 2 of another team, but we have him ranked higher than all of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like a changing of the guard board as we look at it.
I was thinking the same thing. It is really the young is starting to creep through the cracks and really rise up there. And we're saying goodbye to a generation of, or beginning to say our goodbyes to a generation of elite wide receivers.
Yeah. So sad to think about.
Let's end on a sad note.
And also maybe that we've been playing fantasy too long together, that we were going through this together at the same time.
Who was the first star on your first team? Do you remember?
I want to say Marshawn. That feels too new, even because when Marshawn was in his prime, when in the 2010,
Around
11.
there, 2013, I think. 2013, 14. Let me see. So his prime was when I forgot that he started in Buffalo. And then his prime was 2000, yeah, 2011 through 2014. So probably 2012, 13 was when you're really thinking, because that's like, you knew it at that point. But
Yeah, so I'd say it's either him or Larry's or Fitzgerald back in the day. I remember loving my Fitzgerald Carson Palmer stack.
oh my God. Yeah, he went from like the Raiders over there, I think. Right? I had gosh, I think my 2 stars on my first year was Jimmy Graham in New Orleans, where that like year I think that was the year where he completely dominated. And then Calvin Johnson, which to date I don't know if it's because I was new. I don't think it was because I was new. He, for me, was like probably my favorite player to ever watch. Like, it was magical every time he was like galloping, I will say, down the field, because he just moved with such a long body, and he would bring down anything. He would have some of the most
Yeah, he
amazing
was
touches.
dominating in how he would catch over. Like, no matter how he was covered, how he would just track the ball, dominate his catch radius. Like, there was a reason he was called Megatron.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Graham and Megatron. Those are the 2 stars on my team, but Calvin Johnson really stood out to me as like somebody I'll definitely remember, and who I was thinking of when I drafted in Dynasty Marvin Harrison. I was like, I swear to God, if I just drafted Calvin Johnson type of player, that big bodied, like just beast on the field, like, please. I didn't, spoiler alert, but yeah, that's who I hope to see, a player like that. And recently, the players that have been like superstars have been these shifty, fast dudes. Like, there's some
Yeah.
bigger dudes, but for the most part, it's like this speed and like agility. And I kind of miss that like classic wide receiver.
Yeah. I remember like that you just like hyperlinked me back to a time when I was just trying to remember who played with Calvin Johnson. Like, it reminded me like there's the stars, but then there's those guys that you just always wanted to draft. You loved them. They might not have been like the superstar, but like for me, it was Golden Tate, who, when you talked about Calvin Johnson, just reminded me of Golden Tate, because they played side by side. But yeah, like that's how old you are in fantasy, when you can remember just those random gadget guys that you just love drafting.
Yeah. I feel like it wasn't Golden Tate. Who was the other? Maybe it was. I feel like I met Golden Tate once. It was either that or someone with a similar name around the same time, but it was like where I work. He went through like
So random.
I think it was Golden Tate though, and he went through like my line where I was working at the time or something like that. And I remember thinking, and now this will be the tell if I'm wrong or not of who I'm thinking of. I'm going to look at his height real quick. No, it definitely wasn't him, because he's 5'11". All right, well, this story sucked because I don't even remember who the guy was. But I remember it does go to like the story of like these like great wide receivers that can be pretty damn small, and like just like the Tank Dell kind of type. And it was somebody of that kind of size where he came in and somebody's like, you know who that is? And I told me, I was like, that he got drafted. He must be fast, because that man is small.
I'm trying to think of who that could have possibly been during that time.
He went to Ohio State.
Remember what team he played for?
No, because I was going to say the Seahawks.
Was that Doug Baldwin?
I'm going to stop. I'm not going to get it. I'll tell you next time. I'll text you. It's just getting to be bad content.
We're going to cut this whole section out. What are you talking about?
We can't. It's too good.
This is the I forgot we were recording portion.
This is the I did forget we were recording. Well, my favorite darling that I always wish would be something was his name was Ricky Pearsall. So there's my answer to that question.
Yeah, we're closing the book on that.
All right. It's been a great time ranking these wide receivers. Remember, we did the running backs before. We had 4 episodes out within the last couple of weeks. We've got the running back ranking tiers for Dynasty and taking those and re-ranking it for Redraft. And then we did the same thing here. So we had that Dynasty one out, and then this one for the Redraft. And coming up soon, we want to get into like draft strategies. That's a piece we'll hit. We want to start collecting some questions on like for commissioners. How do you make a better league? What changes do you need? This commissioner's corner that we do, we'll bring up these like hard questions. We have a video out there of like why we prefer dictatorships when it comes to fantasy football itself over democracies, because it lets everybody have just a better time. Democracy is for governments, not for fantasy football. But we'll have all these types of things. So if there's a type of like topic you want to hit, or you need help with some stuff, we'll get it from the comments and we'll make an episode out of it, because we really also want to like design leagues. So whatever our settings are not there that we wish in Sleeper, we also kind of want to do an episode on that. So throw your comments in there, start the discussion, and we'll probably use some of that. What's up, Nate?
Yeah, we'll get to all of that right after we finish our tier list on kickers. So we'll be there.
I will quit.
Make kickers a thing. They're coming back.
No, they should be kicked.
Arlen
punt kickers.
Hates kickers so much that we had to get into MLS conversations so that we can have conversations about how people use their feet in sports outside of football.
Yeah, it's a good place to use it because they're all soccer players. There'd be nothing lost in the game without kickers. I will fight you for it. We can talk about it. Hit me up down below. All right. It's been real. We'll talk soon. Hopefully we'll get some more as we get up with some more episodes, but hopefully it'll be geared towards y'all. So throw it in the comments so we can know we're at 90. We're hitting 100 soon. I'm hoping before kickoff to hit it. So let's try it out. See y'all.
Peace.
That was fantastic.